Good day, students. We are now again in our practical research 1. This is in quarter 3, module 6A. So this is about characteristics of qualitative research. So our learning competency in this module, so the learner describes characteristics of qualitative research. So our topic is characteristics of qualitative research. Okay. So at the end of this module, you are able to identify the characteristics of qualitative research, and number 2, describe the characteristics of qualitative research. Okay, so every day you encounter people with different life perceptions, capabilities, and styles, things that you cherish always, places you like to explore, and events that are phenomenal. These have influenced your whole, so being a lot positively or negatively in some ways. You find them interesting, intriguing, and or amazing, where this had been a big impact to your daily life. Consequently, you are prompted to gather facts and draw conclusions about them. This paves your way to qualitative research because basically you look for the reasons they exist and how they affect you. From the word quality, you will search for significant features of these people, things, places, and events that make them valuable to you. Thus, qualitative research helps you find the reality of their daily existence and how they influence you and the community you live in as well. Gentles et al. Defines qualitative research as a study that seeks to understand social life by targeted population in their natural setting. In this study, the researcher can find problems that affect the subject individually and as a community. Then he or she will ask questions to find out why those problems occur and find solutions that people can listen them. Okay, let's try this. So picture impress. Okay, look at the picture below, give your impression on it, and answer the questions. So how do you describe the image? Number 2, what do you feel about it? Okay, so let's have your answers. So here, in number 1, how do you describe the image? So maybe you will describe it about a flower, an orchid that blooms. So it has colors like orange, purple, white, yellow, and we have this green leaves. Okay, so that is the quality of the flower. And what do you feel about it? So it may be you are happy because you're able to see a flower, or you feel relaxed, feel motivated, or it gives you interest to have this also in your garden. Okay, so those are your possible answers. Okay, so for analysis, what keywords do you use to describe the picture? And for question number 2, why did you use this word to describe the picture? Okay, so in our analysis here, so you have the words beautiful, colorful. So it depends upon you. And why did you choose? So it depends upon your depiction on the answer. Okay, or the picture. Okay, let's study this. Let's have now the characteristics of qualitative research. So characteristics define. Characteristics are unique qualities, traits a person, place, thing, or event has which are different from others. This is by Webster Dictionary 2020. They may include their faculties, abilities, capabilities, aptitudes, and attitudes externally and internally or both of the subject. Okay, characteristic of qualitative research. So qualitative research is generally subjective because we describe people, things, places, and events through the views, feelings, and actions of certain people toward them, through their experiences about them in their own setting. Okay, take note of the word. So this is subjective. So, Baraceros 2016 and Roller described qualitative research as the following. First, subjective. Why? Because it assumes each case is special and unique as it respects and captures the details of individual cases being studied. For example, experiences of people of Cebu City, the COVID-19 outbreak is different from other places as it has the most increasing number of cases in the Philippines. Okay, based on this subject. Number two, contextualize. Data gathered show subjects' understanding and interpretation of the world experience in their environment. Okay, so people in Cebu City experience strictest measurement of community quarantine as COVID-19 infection is severely rampant in their locality. Okay, so contextualize. So it depends on the location of the study. Okay. Number three, active or flexible. The researcher will be able to discover the appropriate research design with the right methodologies as it reveals itself according to the research objectives as he or she goes through the process and or situation changes. It avoids getting locked into rigid designs that eliminate responsiveness and pursues new paths of discovery as they emerge. Okay, so in qualitative research, it is active and flexible. As you go through your study, so you may discover something new. That's why it's flexible. So you may change your search questions a little bit. Okay, it depends upon the data also that you gathered in your interviews. Example, a death of a COVID-19 victim can be a narrative if the researcher would like to describe the sequential experiences of COVID-19 victim from infection to death. It can be a case study if the researcher would like to study the experiences of the victims differently from each other. Okay, so this is example. Okay, then dynamic. The researcher gets attention to the system and its process, assuming change is constant, whether the focus is on an individual or an entire culture. Example of this, during the data gathering, the families that allow the researcher to interview the victims. Instead of focusing them, he or she may focus on experiences of the frontliners that may change the research problem, design, and instrumentation, and methodologies. Okay, this is related to the concept earlier about flexibility. Okay, and number five, personal contact and insights. A searcher has direct contact with and gets close to the people and their situation and their study. His or her personal experiences and insights are critical to the understanding the phenomenon. Example, give more insights of the COVID-19 pandemic in Cebu. Searcher may interview the victims, their families, and their frontliners, and take videos and photos of the present situations in the local to elicit answers to the questions. Okay. Number six, narrative. Detailed, thick description, inquiry in depth, direct quotations, and visual presentations like pictures, drawing, audio tapes, and videotapes narrates perspective and experiences of the subjects of the topic discussed. Examples, to analyze and interpret COVID-19 pandemic, a searcher may narrate their observation and interviews of the patients with their families and the frontliners and or use data from the Department of Health through narratives, pictures, videos, and graphical presentation. Okay, so as a researcher, so you may use narration of the events to picture out the situations in your study. Okay, this is important in qualitative research because we're going to picture out or give a clear, vivid illustration of the experiences of our participants. Okay, number seven, inductive. It analyzes details and specifies and specifics of the data to be discovered, important categories, dimensions, and interrelationship. Begin by exploring genuinely open questions rather than testing critically derived hypotheses. Examples, COVID-19 infection can be prevented through wearing a face mask, social distancing, and community quarantine. Thus, social interaction is lessened. Okay, so the word inductive, so again, it is from specific to general. Okay, Number 8, neutral, empathic neutrality. The researcher's passion is to understand the world in all its complexity, not proving something, not advocating, not advancing a personal agenda, but understanding the researcher includes personal experiences and empathic insight relevant to the data while taking a neutral, non-judgmental stance toward whatever content may emerge. Example, to interpret the data, the researcher may add his own experiences of the pandemic in his or her locality, as long as they are connected to the data and they are valid, which are backed up with evidences and official statements. Okay? And number 9, holistic perspective. The holistic perspective of the subjects on the event under study is understand in its complex system more than the sum of its parts. It can discuss their mental, spiritual, social, and physical aspects on it. The researcher may include the mental, spiritual, emotional, social, and physical struggles of COVID-19 victims in the data collection, analysis, and interpretation. Then, number 10, social constructivists. The results of the qualitative research can pave way to personal societal changes. They give better ideas on how to lessen societal conflicts and struggles. So the findings of COVID-19 pandemic in Cebu City can be great learning to their localities on the things people should do and not to do in this struggle. Okay? So this is important in qualitative research because it's a subjective approach. So it has a in-depth understanding of the issue of your topic. So by this, so it can help a lot of people because it gives more emphasis on the meaning or experiences in this COVID-19 pandemic. So by this, many people will learn what is COVID-19 and how to avoid it. Okay? Okay, let's do this. So making a comparison, fill up the phrases to complete the idea on the characteristic of qualitative research on each item in each sentence only. In one sentence only. So, so here your answer may vary. Okay, it depends upon you. So number 1, subjectivity is different from objectivity in the sense that blank. Okay. And number 2, multiple methods like interviews, observations, and surveys can be utilized in a qualitative study to blank. Okay, for number 2, multiple observations like interviews, observations, surveys can be utilized in a qualitative study to blank. Okay, number 3, inductive reasoning is applied to qualitative study because okay, blank. So it depends upon you. Okay, number 4, a case study becomes contextualized when participants blank. And number 5, qualitative data are wordy and visual because blank. Okay, so you can send your answers to my email posted on the screen. Okay, so let's remember this. So these are the characteristics of research. Subjective, contextualized, active, flexible, personal, narrative, inductive, neutral, holistic, and social constructivist. Okay? Okay, let's test ourselves now. So read the description about the characteristic of research and write the best answer in your answer sheet. Okay, number 1, narratives and drawings are used to present the experiences of the participants in a topic studied in the data analysis and interpretation. A, active, B, holistic, C, narrative, D, personal. Okay, the correct answer is letter C, narrative. And number 2, the researcher talks to participants and goes with them in the setting to get more ideas about their situation. A, dynamic, B, holistic, C, personal, D, subjective. Okay, the correct answer is letter C, personal. Okay, number 3, the researcher's purpose is to understand the situation of the participants and not to impose his or her ideal views of them. A. Holistic. B. Neutral. C. Subjective. D. Social constructivist. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. Neutral. Number 4. The researcher may change the research design of the study data to phenomenology to other for as long as it will answer the research problem. A. Dynamic. B. Holistic. C. Personal. D. Subjective. Okay, the correct answer is letter A. Dynamic. Number 5. The researcher respects the idea that every person has different experiences and physical and mental faculties that lead to different interpretations of the world. A. Subjective. B. Personal. C. Contextualized. D. Neutral. Okay, the correct answer is A. Subjective. Okay, number 6. A searcher is ready for changes may happen as the data gathering goes by. A. Active. B. Dynamic. C. Neutral. D. Social constructivist. Okay, the correct answer is letter A. Active. 7. Research result depends on experiences, understanding of the participants on the phenomenon based on their natural setting. A. Active. B. Contextualized. C. Personal. D. Subjective. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. Contextualized. Okay, number 8. Data are generalized from bits of information that answers the research question. A. Active. B. Dynamic. C. Inductive. D. Narrative. Okay, correct. It's letter C. Inductive. Number 9. The researcher studies the whole being of the participants in the situation. A. Subjective. B. Social constructivist. C. Inductive. D. Holistic. Okay, it's very obvious. The answer is letter D. Holistic. Okay, number 10. The findings of a study may change the personal outlooks of the researcher about the situation and apply them to own situation. A. Active. B. Dynamic. C. Neutral. D. Social constructivist. Okay, the correct answer is letter D. Social constructivist. Okay, so I hope you got all the correct answers in our exercise. If you have questions and clarifications, so you can have it on my Facebook account. You can email me or send a personal message. Okay? So see you in our next module. Have a nice day.